Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine. 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 Wanna move my feet. 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 Wanna drink my wine.
Hey, journeyman, gentlemen, this is your hero journey with Dr. D, and to encourage, to motivate, to inspire, helping you get beyond your first move and creating a better mindset today. But apologize for delay, but not denied. But here we go. All right, all right, all right. So check it out tonight. I have what we're doing tonight is what happened? What happened? What happened? All right, all right. First thing I'll do tonight is I will put in the chat line uh, in the comment section. All right, so I'll put the comment section, add a guest. Generally, I'll put this in the chat line, comment section. I'm gonna add a guest, and so while I do this is because this is discussion Q&A. So I'm gonna discuss a little bit, and then we're gonna get on board. So pasting right now. So for those who come on, you can come on now, get in the back room, and then be able to give me your 2 cents. And when you give me your 2 cents, you may actually get a nickel back. Go figure. You may get a nickel back. Go. All right, all right, all right, all right. React. All right. All right. For those, if you find any value in this content, how about you help me help you so we can help others by clicking subscribe, commenting, and sharing. So, now I had on two things. Oh, first of all, I need to know if I can be heard. Let me know if my sound is on, if it's off, if it's clear, or if it's cloudy, if it needs to be adjusted or not. It'd be good to let me know at the beginning so we won't get delayed at the end to see what the end gonna be. Oh, so what happened? What happened? Let's talk about it. What happened? Now you see in the background, in my background, Chapel Hill shooting. Chapel Hill shooting. Did you think anything ever heinous would happen in Chapel Hill? Well, we've had some situations that happened several years ago about some young ladies that get accosted, you know, you know, indecently, and things have not didn't go good on that situation. Um, and some other things here and there in the Greensboro, the Winston-Salem, just different all around. However, would you ever think, thanks, Tito, I appreciate that. Would you ever think that in the small town, which is pretty much occupied in the gist of uh, the court occupancy is Chapel Hill. It's Chapel Hill, North Carolina, which is famously known for the University of Chapel Hill. When I used to go to a university close by, I used to think of Chapel Hill as the school, not the city. When a person told me they went to Chapel Hill, I said, "Oh, so what dorm do you stay on? What dorm do you stay in, or do you have off-campus housing?" Because when you think about Chapel Hill, North Carolina, you really don't think about the school system. And maybe I'm talking for me. You don't think about any real things or any prominence, but University of Chapel Hill, Dean Smith, the basketball team, not really the football team, but the basketball team. Um, so that's what you think about. Now, this what happened. This gentleman who was he's a grad student, I think second year, doctoral grad student in Chapel Hill, and I read through some chats that he had, some texts that he had previously to the situation, and he had issues with some people. So he pretty much he was Asian, and he said that there's a lot of bullying going on in America, and he has some issues with some other people who are pretty much snitching. I guess that worked around him, and that he couldn't get in contact with his superiors or have a real good conversation about some issues that he may be having. However, even with that being said, did you would you ever think that things would get to a point where things would get to a point in his encounter that think that he take a gun and shoot somebody? And not only did he shoot somebody, he shot a professor. Now, if my memory serves me correct, or I may be in error, and when you all come on, just let me know if I'm in error or not. That the situation was the person had an altercation that wasn't really able to be ironed out in a decent manner, and the casualty was a death. And should anything ever get to a point where you can't logically have a conversation or communication with an individual to air it out? Now, you would think this is not a child, this is not an undergrad, not this is a person in some years, and he's in graduate school, doctoral program. You would think analytical thinking would be part of the plan, and you should be able to process your thought patterns um, in an eloquent manner that doesn't result to violence. And you shouldn't have such a case of passive aggressiveness, whereas you had to pull out a gun and shoot somebody. Who would have thought? You're a doctoral student, and take it to your own you took it to your own self to actually take somebody's life, or to shoot out of frustration. Go hit a punching bag, get in jujitsu gym, holler at a pillow, play loud music. But there are many other options than to resort to violence to that extent. It seems as if violence is a thing that has been everybody resorts to instead of having a conversation, instead of having a foot race. It's just that playing music, but we want to go to violence probably because we think it's a video. But how many people know that when they say cut, the video is over? So the person seems like they're laying down and they're deceased, they get back up and everybody gets paid. That's a video. That's not reality. That's a fantasy. And maybe is it a thing that is it the thing that we're so indoctrinated with things that come from the media, the airways, songs, for movies. We think that the movie is actually real life, and we start to implement the the scenes in the movie as if they were our own. So you see in my title right here, Chapel Chapel Hill shooter, emotionally unstable. So I'm gonna let people on and see stability of your emotional state is the things to be questioned. Now, the gist of my channel is to encourage, to inspire, to motivate, and to educate, helping people get beyond their first move and creating a better mindset today. To help people regulate their emotions. Now, the reason I work on helping people regulate their emotions because I need to regulate mine. So while I can help the masses, you better believe that every day the first client, the first patient that I have is myself. How many times I'm going to cuss somebody out? I want to hit somebody out. I have to look at the consequences, and I use the tools that I try to teach to help bring me down so I will not get a stroke or a heart attack for anybody. Is the person emotionally unstable if they don't know how to keep their cool? Is the person emotionally unstable if they cut somebody out? What you think? Is if you're emotionally unstable, is it that if it happens on one time occurrence or if it happens on a consistent pattern? How about a person who cusses you out the next day act as if everything's all right? How about that? They just like cuss you out the next day. Hey, honey, want some pancakes? That would be scary, tad bit frightening. I would suggest to pack your bags and leave. That would be my suggestion. That would be my suggestion. So tell me what would be yours. And so I got Tito just popped in the back room. Let me see if Mother Comrade is on his way. Okay. Okay. Pa, 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 pa. I'm on. Let me see. Okay, let me get you on, Tito. You ready? No, that's wrong. Oh, there he is. There he is. All right, people. Okay, let's get the aircraft. All right. Okay, can't get him. Where you at? Where you at? Thank you. Hoorah! Hoorah! Okay,
Hoorah. Yeah, hoorah.
I can't get your sound, dog. Why I can't get your sound? Is that
Can't
me or
hear
that? Because I can't hear you.
uh,
Let me see if I can get
let me make sure it's not on me. Okay, hold on.
All right. There we go. Renee, can I hear you? Can I
I
get
can hear you loud and
all
clear.
right?
I got my cameras on. I turn it off.
All right, can you hear me?
Sound.
I can hear you loud and
All
clear.
right. I know what's going on.
Hello?
I got you. Hey,
Oh,
people.
you can hear me?
Yeah, I hear everybody.
You hear
Tito,
everybody? You can hear me now.
Yeah.
I can't Renee is seeing this got a tan.
Um,
I always hear you guys, always. My sound is always perfect.
Yeah, but just your eyes are not. All right.
My eyes are perfectly slanted.
Your eyes are perfect.
I
With your
don't know if we should be doing any slanted eye jokes tonight.
well,
My eyes are perfect.
what's your picture? Don't you got a cropped up picture?
What's a cropped up picture?
You don't have your picture's not on. Your screen's not on.
Yeah, I know. I wanted you guys to see the R instead. You don't want to see my face. Who
you,
did that?
you,
Hey, cut
you,
it out.
where's your professional headshot? That's
Don't
what.
you got a headshot?
Yeah, your professional headshot.
Oh, I don't know how to put that on the screen.
You did it before.
No, I didn't. I never done that. Put a picture on the screen?
Yeah.
I've never done that.
Actually, I don't know how to do it. So I mean,
Yeah, I
I
have no idea. I have no idea how you do that. Let me see if I push here.
I'm gonna start putting me a picture on the screen.
Yeah, I don't have no idea how to do that. Oh,
you you
maybe
you you've done it before.
video settings. Oh, is it here in video settings? Shit. I probably
Uh,
just switch the camera.
Ex Tito.
Tito, how you
Let's do this. Let's do this off air.
huh?
We on a live feed here.
Okay. So tell me, people. Um, was old boy was he justified for his actions, or was he stable or unstable?
She said justified. Justifies for his action of killing somebody. I don't think so.
Well, he just took a little force. That's what his attorneys would say.
I
He
mean,
had
because
a lapse of judgment.
yeah, well, that was more than a lapse in
Yeah,
judgment. That was a major thing. Um, it wasn't self defense, so you can't say justified.
that's true. That's true. What do you think he's saying?
Wait,
Uh,
wait. We don't know if it wasn't self-defense.
huh?
We
Oh,
don't know we don't know if it wasn't self-defense.
Oh,
did you read the previous his chats? I read his chats.
Yeah,
Um,
but I'm just saying, in that moment in the office, we still don't know. Maybe the guy did attack him. I mean, I don't know, but there is a possibility that maybe he was defending himself. I mean, obviously, hopefully it'll all come out in the trial or whatever. Because then he plead innocent.
well, it says that they plead innocent.
I
I
think I
read.
heard that he entered a non guilty. What's how you say it? Not guilty plea.
Okay, this was the suspect in the fatal shooting of a faculty member of UNC on Monday. His graduate school. His name Talik Kwai. The grad student was charged with first degree murder and having a gun on education property in court Tuesday. He did not enter a plea
Oh, he
and was
didn't
ordered
enter. Oh,
held without bond. The victim was identified as he shot another Asian. The professor was Asian or Zija Yan.
yeah, the
Correct,
professor was Asian. Yeah, I saw that.
right? And so, an associate professor of the Department of Applied Physical Science who had worked since 2019. The two knew each other.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, UNC Chief Brian he said Tuesday, Kui was a grad student in the same department, and Yang was his faculty advisor.
Uh-oh.
According to Kui, UNC's biological page, which has been deleted but is available on the internet. Okay, Kui entered the school in 2022 and listed his previous education. Blah 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 blah. And then he said, "Was it blah 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 blah?" Courtroom Tuesday where orange jumpsuit cuffed in front of him. He used an interpreter. First appearance, Neiman said the gun possession charge was related to a 9mm handgun, a firearm used in shooting. If convicted, Quee faced a minimum of life in prison without parole for murder, uh, and up to 2 years for weapons. Maximum sentence for first degree murder uh, is death penalty. Mm-hmm. Expresses condolences. He was loved colleague, mentor, and a friend of so many on campus, and a father of two young children. He said, mm-mm,
Uh,
mm-mm. "Yeah." So, what you saying? He plead what? Innocent?
I'm saying we still don't know the full details. Maybe it was, hey, you know me, I've known you. You know we love each other. You need to tell your wife. No, I can't tell my wife. No, you promised me. I
I
said,
think I
no,
think
I'm
Renee
sorry.
have a
I
personal
shouldn't be joking
flashback.
like this.
You having a you telling about a situation
Would
you
you
did
would you would
while
you
you
I'm
was
insinuate?
saying, I'm
Would you
saying
insinuate something?
that's what you always see in the movies. It's always
no
so
this real
oh
life.
please.
This real life.
But yeah, I shouldn't be joking like that. It's kind of sad and unfortunate. But another thing, I know I've heard this for years. My undergraduate degree was in math, and a number of people have told me this. I don't know what department they were in, but
Applied
some
physical science.
what?
Applied uh applied physical sciences.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say I know certain disciplines are known for causing people to go mad. Um, and maybe also sometimes the stress, particular cultures, the stress is extremely intense on having to succeed and having to make it happen. I mean, maybe the associate professor was like, hey,
Oh,
you're not doing right. You're gonna get this bad grade, so you might have just snapped. I mean, we don't know.
zero defect mentality.
Yeah.
What's that?
What's
You
that?
Oh,
can't.
can't make any mistakes. Can't do
Yeah,
anything wrong.
you got to be perfect. Yeah, I got you. It's kind of I kind of understand that culture in a way, because military mindset of things. It was kind of like, zero defect mentality, and it can, yeah, it can put a lot of stress on you because, especially you're around a lot of alpha males. Everybody got to be right, and you got to be the strongest. You got to be the fastest. Stuff like that. Competitive.
Yeah.
Right. Mhm. And some cultures, like I said, the family pressure to be perfect and to not shame the family, to because I don't know if you guys remember this. A few years ago, something similar happened where a PhD student, but I think he shot like 3 or 4 people at one of these universities. I think it was in California. He went to and I think they said it was because of a grade he got, and he like snapped and went into the department and like I think killed a few people.
Hmm.
You think you talking about that earlier? You got a
Yeah,
B. You got a B or something?
yeah, it was a grade he didn't agree with, and he just flipped, and like went in and just shot a bunch of people. I don't know. I guess we'll find out eventually, but it's almost crazy.
Well,
Yeah, it goes. So the emotional state. Like I said earlier, why is it that we got to get a Glock or something to shoot somebody? Why can't we have a conversation? And you would think if you to that point of education, you should have some logical decorum. It's not like he's a freshman in college or just walking through the college. He's been there for a while. But I read in chat earlier, it's a conversation they had. They went through his social media, um, and he was saying somebody was a snitch. He was talking about America has bullying in it, and I guess it said he was trying to get over his PI. I guess that his professor, and he couldn't get communicate with the individual. The frustration overwhelmed him. I guess that's the I do understand that some people you have certain type of personalities. Meaning some people extroverts, some people introverts. But I say this: I believe that you still need to know how to oscillate and dwell in both environments, even if it's not your prominent one. And if you fail to learn how to work in that environment or to deal in that environment, then that environment is going to overcome you. And some people, I mean, especially with technology now, you don't have to go out your room to be amongst the world. You put the Oculus on and go to China as an avatar,
Yeah,
and and you can think you're there,
yeah,
and everything can be working, or you can put the program, and everybody can be connecting with you as you have dreamed they would, and you'd be happy.
yeah.
okay. Both of y'all keep me out of y'all dreams, okay?
You don't want to get the Oculus.
But y'all are not in my Oculus dreams.
Yeah,
Y'all are not in my VR.
yeah. And
Yes, yeah.
these things like the Oculus, and you can be whoever in your fantasy world, you're 6'4", you got a six pack, you're full of muscles, you're a millionaire, you drive a Ferrari, you got a beautiful super, you know what I mean? The problem is when reality tries to come back in, you know, and your reality is sad. It's just a form of escapism.
Well, just make sure you keep your Oculus charged, and
Yeah,
you can
well,
see.
yeah, but yeah, that's true. But what if the internet goes out? You know?
That's when you take your nap.
And let it charge, right?
Right.
Yeah, you know, I heard this story on the side, like Reddit story, where the guy said, kid came into the hospital and was like, I'm having problems with my legs. My legs go numb sometimes. And the doctor just questioned him to see what was going on. And what he discovered was a kid was playing particular video games for 8 to 10 hours a day at a time. And the doctor said, your problem is you need to get up and walk around. You got to get up and move. That's your
Like
issue,
physically move.
huh?
You talking about physically move, not move in the game, but physically move.
Right.
Right. Get the blood flowing.
Yeah, but that's the world we live in, and it's growing. I think it's reached. There's a culture in Japan called hikikomori, and I say now it's reached like 1 million people.
What you mean?
Hikikomori. It's this cultural phenomenon. There's different names for it, but in Japan, where it's these people that have, in a sense, sort of checked out of society, and then sometimes they just stay at home. Often they don't have a job. They may just live with their parents, or they like self isolate themselves, and they basically live their whole lives and they just watch video games. They never go out. Don't have any friends. They like just totally isolated.
But their friends are probably on the computer.
Right, and that's their whole life. They don't go outside. Never get married. They don't date, and it's like this whole huge. And it's so bad that they've actually, from what I'm understanding, they've appointed a government council. I don't know what the word is, to investigate it to see what's going on to try to deal with it.
Like a rat czar.
Yeah, but it's happening all over the world. All over the world, that people just checking out in one way or the other.
So what you're saying is the Matrix is real.
It's
You didn't know?
becoming real. Yeah. I mean,
didn't-
look, it's becoming real. They're making it real.
So you want the red pill or the blue pill?
Personally, I feel like I've already gotten the red pill. You know, I've already gotten the red pill.
You already got the red pill?
Yeah, I like life. I want to go outside. I want to exercise. I love nature.
It's
I don't
Blank,
want to just stay locked up in my house all day, every day.
Blank Man. It just came in.
Who Phil?
And how
Yeah.
come he gets to have a blank screen like that?
He Blank Man. Where's the? You got no dog? Where's
He
where's
was coming up with some
You
type
should
of
throw
stuffed animal
throw
or
a
something.
character up there, some
yeah?
a
You got
bobblehead or a stuffed animal.
a cute baby picture, or you ain't got none of those?
That's messed up. That's
Okay, I'm gonna just add my 2 cents to all of this stuff. Only thing I can say is from somebody who lived in an alternate universe, and what I mean by that is I was kind of like to myself and quiet and stuff like that. But for me, it wasn't being totally checked out of reality. When I made up a universe of like a story and situations and stuff like that. So I didn't make up my universe to say, oh, I got a 6-pack or I got $1 million. That wasn't mine. Mine was more of my doing stuff for creative reasons and how I would create a scenario or situations. So I guess mine is on the other side of the what you call that meter, where I'm not that checked out like the other person who is just like, oh, their reality is just something totally different. And I think for like people who write or perform spoken word and stuff like that, our reality or our sub reality isn't that extreme. At least that's the way I see it. Now, what do you have to say about
what? Repeat the question.
Repeat the question, Phil.
Sound like he went out. I heard it like a little static during him speaking.
I think
Like he,
that may have been a skillet.
I think he was about to say, "What do you have to say about that?" That would have sounded like he was about to say, "What do you have to say about that?" But I'm not sure.
well, we can assume, and you know what they say about assume.
It's Mm.
I think we all have our own little mental world that we escape to, our thoughts, our mind. Because believe it or not, I'm an introvert, but I do show extrovert times, but it drains me to be around people. I get out and I can socialize real good.
Right.
But people don't realize how much time I need to be alone in order to be able to socialize like that. I spend more time alone and in my head than I spend with actual people at times.
How
But
did
see,
that?
go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm curious. Was that compatible well, or did that work well? Because I was always given the impression that Marines by nature or are taught to be very extroverted or very um loud and dominant.
Well,
Uh,
this is I'm gonna tell you, I have my life like in I always put things in compartments. If I'm at work, I'm this. If I'm at home, I'm that. But in order to do all of that, I have to spend my alone time to get my energy to reboot and charge up.
oh, okay.
So I can do the roles. I can do what I need to do. I can socialize. I can be, I can be anal. I can be whatever I need to be at them times.
Mhm.
But I have to have my time to be alone, to recharge, reboot, clear my thoughts, get my energy level, my mental energy back up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like when you go to work. Hey, you focus on what you got to do at work. You're not thinking about anything else. It's about what's in front of me right now, and that's how I always tackle it. Put things in compartment. If I'm at church, it's about what's going on in church. Nothing else matters at that time. If I'm at work, it's about what's going on at work. If I'm out with my family, hey, it's about us enjoying being out and trying to enjoy the moment that I'm in at that time.
Yeah. Okay.
I
That
think
makes sense.
go ahead. I think it reverse for me. If I'm around a lot of people, if I get that gives me my boost. And like I said, I think it's is good ideal to know where you are. And I think what happens is that people generally try to make somebody like them, and
I,
that's how relationships break up because people don't know how to adapt, adjust, and just accept the person as they are, E- in their errors or their flaws, because their errors and their flaws may not be a flaw to anybody, somebody else, only to a flaw to you because that's not how you are. And if you can understand, oh, you can love a person, even if you can't um, stand it for too long. You can love a person from a distance.
yeah.
Um, and I think, I get around people. If I get around a lot of people, it's a charge. It's a charge that I get by myself. I was in I was in the sauna the other day, and this took me off. It just took me off guard because I don't think I ever had this happen to me. Young guy was in the sauna, 19. It's about 18, 19 years old. He said, "Excuse me, sir." I think he was. His name's Luis. Excuse me, sir. Can you give me some words of wisdom? He's out the blue, and nobody else was in there at the time. Other people started coming in, and so I said, "Oh, what's your passion?" So I just went down the road. What's your passion? And he worked with, I guess, his family in the business, and he wanted to do this and do that. And I only planned to be in there 10 minutes. But he came in, it became 20 more minutes. I think I'm still a little bit dehydrated from that situation happened there ago. However, I think me being, and I just digress. I get off. Whereas me being with people allows me time to be by myself so I can have something that God gives me to give to somebody else. Yeah, so I I need to and to and when I'm with somebody, I'm there. But I won't lie to you is I can't stand the beach.
You can't stand the beach.
Not for too long.
Oh,
By myself. You
okay.
know, a lot of people think, it's serene. It's just calm and soothing and
So is
it
it that you can't stand the beach or you can't stand to be alone? Which one is it?
I can't stand I can stand the beach but not a whole day and just look
My,
at the water.
my tan is good, so you ain't got
Yeah.
to worry about me.
So my wife's on the other end, she's like, oh, it's so serene. I can just lay out here and just bask and just be here. It's just calming and yeah, but I have a flat screen. I can put the nature channel on and put surrounds around the house. But I get it, being in the atmosphere and being there. So it's cool for a little while. And it actually is cool to to me if I had a couple people around after
So
about
you
20,
you
30
you
minutes.
prefer the extrovert life. You prefer it.
Yeah,
You don't like this being in a quiet, silent place. You don't
I
like that.
prefer I am that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I am the extrovert.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's
interesting.
it's like it just when when the pandemic was happening, I want to go to I had to go to I went to Barnes and Noble. Now I didn't need to talk to everybody. I just need to be around people to pull some energy from them.
Uh,
That's see, that's my wife. My wife is extrovert, and she have to be like out talking to people and all of that. When um, she was working from home, still is because she's still recovering right now. She got a couple more weeks. It kills her, and for the 2 years that she did while they was remodeling their office, while she was working from home, it drove her crazy. And she's like, I need to be in the office because I go from my office to somebody else's office,
Right.
and they talk, and I'm like, you just don't know how blessed it is to be able to just work from home. And when she went back to the office, she was kind of like, oh yeah, she kind of missed being able to work from home. So I mean,
Need some balance.
because you don't because you she was look since she's an extrovert, she need to be out and talking to people. That's part of who she is. And being at home, she really don't get to talk to people unless they call her. Or she doing a meeting or a video conference or something like that. So being at home, and she was, majority of the time she was at home by herself. You
But
know,
could you just leave?
well, if she take long as she stay connected, she took her laptop with her and stay connected. You
I think
know,
I think I
some,
was just left and went to Barnes and Nobles.
but sometimes part of what she do, she can't necessarily like be out straight up in the public because some of the stuff is PII, personal identified information,
Okay.
that she's dealing with. So you really can't, and you're not going to be on a public Wi-Fi either, unsecure
Right.
Wi-Fi.
Hack. Right.
I've heard that happens often. Extroverts marry introverts.
Well, it would make sense in our case because she's the one, but everybody think I'm the social person because when I'm around people, I can give that energy off. But like I said, if I'm in the house, I deal with my family for about for a while, and then like what you know, I'll be in the home office or I'll be in the bedroom or something.
It think
And
it's different between introvert and antisocial.
oh, you're trying to say I'm antisocial?
No, no, I'm saying it's a difference. You're not
Oh,
antisocial. You're just an introvert.
right, right,
Antisocial means that I don't want to be around nobody ever,
Right.
right.
and just
Right.
be around people just get on my nerve. Now you just saying that too much. of people get on your nerves.
Yes.
You got you got certain time the time and like I used to Paula's like she loved being by herself. I said you have to increase your bites
Uh-huh.
10 minutes, then push to 15 minutes. See,
Yeah.
I can do good 8 minutes. I said you go to 20 minutes.
Yeah, I just had a special guest walking in here with me. My little daughter, she's in the background. Come here, gal.
Hey,
Say hello. Hello.
hello.
All right, you can go sit back down. Yeah.
Oh, you know she's back there.
I heard it when she opened the door behind me, and I looked, and she was like whispering, "I'll come in," and I was like, "Yeah." So she went and jumped on the beanbag chair behind me.
I got to do one with my daughter wants to do a show, and she's good on camera too.
She's a natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So no, I'm not saying that you're antisocial. Just said I don't understand people.
Well, he's not because he said that when he is in around people, he reciprocates the energy. Yeah. Antisocial people like they don't want to be around people. They'll avoid it. And when they are around people, they don't like it. They might be in a bad mood and try to
It's evident they don't like people.
yeah, yeah.
There's evidence. So I think it's a balance. I think it's like something in your wife you saw, something in my wife I saw. I saw like a gifting that I wasn't good at. I saw something that she do that easy.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it, don't want to. So help meet me. Yeah, that's the goal. And help meet me at the at my area of inadequacy or why I come short, and I help you meet you another direction.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm down the middle. I'm about 55% extrovert,
You just never wait.
50% extrovert, maybe 40, 45 introvert. So I can do either, you know.
So you lukewarm.
In terms of personality, no, lukewarm. I don't know if that's a good way of saying it. I don't think that's a good. Yeah, I think that's a good way of saying it. I just can be either or. Mhm.
I'm just thinking with you. So you can do either or. Like you said, 55% extrovert. Why you
Yeah,
say only
I think
55?
I'm slightly, huh?
Why do you say you like almost 50-50?
I've come to recently understand, just in the last few months or years, that I might slightly prefer being around people. I've learned that more now that I've been living by myself for a little while. And so now I have something to compare it to. Whereas I had housemates for 9 years straight,
Mm-hmm.
before I started living by myself. And then, so now I realize, oh, okay, I had to get adjusted. I'm adjusted now. I enjoy it. But then I said, okay, I may slightly more have enjoyed, um, not tremendously, but that's why I give it like a 55%. Um, I enjoy being more around other people. So I'm kind of in the middle. So if no one says anything to me, I- I'm typically here in the house. And now that, my dog passed away, it's usually just me and Jesus in the house. But if somebody says something to me like, hey, if somebody invites me to do something,
Uh-huh.
then I'm willing to, yeah, I'll go out and hang out, so I can do either or.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
still take your Tupperware with you?
Tupperware. I mean, if it's an eating event and I know they want to let's take home food, I might.
What's your specialty?
Whatever you have to cook.
What's your specialty that you cook that you usually take if you go into a potluck or to eating something?
Who me?
Yeah, you.
I don't have nothing. I'll ask them what they want and go to the store and get it. I'm not much of a cook. If they say chicken, I'll go to Kroger's. If they say pizza, yeah. But me cooking something for other people, I haven't done that in decades, really.
So in essence, when he goes with the Tupperware, and what does he take? Whatever's left.
Or what I take home, yeah, whatever they give me. If they want me to take food home, yeah. But typically at fellowships, I ask like, "What do you need?" And then I provide what they tell me to provide. Yeah.
Okay, so with you being at home alone by yourself, is it the quietness of your home, or you just miss being able to interact with someone else?
Yeah, both. I had to get used to um the not having another person, not like talking or just knowing that they're there. I mean, it was an adjustment because, like I said, I had housemates for like man 10 years straight.
Mhm.
Sometimes as many as I don't know what 8.
8
So,
house,
huh?
Flop house.
He said
what,
what?
a trap
Yeah,
house.
drop. No, it's not a trap house anyway. No, it's, yeah,
I said
it's not.
trap house.
I was just saying, don't incriminate yourself.
No,
so
it's
so
funny.
so would you say that having people there help your emotional state or deplete your emotional state? It was it.
It was it was it was both.
Hmm.
So after a while of living with so many people, um, I felt like I wanted to be by myself, right? I wanted to get some land, like 5 more plus acres. I wanted my house to be in the middle of the land, just kind of get away. But now that I've been living by myself for a while, I've come to appreciate more the comfort of community. So now
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay, I see it. So yeah, I would like more land, but I want most of it to be in the backyard. So I do want some neighbors. Now, but I see that more now that I've been living by myself. So I appreciate it more like, oh, okay, I don't want to just be way out there somewhere in the country all by myself. I
Right.
appreciate being around people more, you know.
So,
Okay.
so do you think as far as how can situations like the one in Chapel Hill be avoided as far as stabilizing one's emotional?
Honestly, I don't think it's too much you can do. I mean, we can try to identify, you can because usually when things happen, you be like, man, when they said this, you put more stuff together after a situation happened if someone said something to you. Because you never know when someone is gonna snap. I mean, if you think about it, he was an undergrad, right?
No, he's
So,
graduate student. He's graduate
oh,
student.
he's a graduate student. So you would think that he would have things together, more in order, more of a sane person, someone that you would it would you wouldn't think would do something like that. So you can't control, what somebody do and when they're going to do it. That's just like me. Somebody might think considered a sane person, but something can happen and I can snap. But you can't predict the future. No one can predict the future and say, "Hey, I what can we do different? What can we do different?" We always, every time something happened, the first thing people want to do is, guns. The gun. It's not the guns. It's the people. And
Right.
then you want to make new laws, especially when it comes down to a lot of mass shootings. You want to make new laws to try to control something, and it's not necessarily we already got laws, we already got rules. It's that you can't control what a person gonna do. You making laws for law abiding citizens, and the person can be a law abiding citizen at that time that they purchased that weapon, but 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, something happened, they snap. You can't control that. So how can we? I don't know any way I can think of in my head. It's people. There's a lot of people out there. Maybe we can all collectively come up with some. But how can you control a person's mental state when something happened that may cause them to snap and say, "This is what I'm gonna do. This is how I get my point across." Or because it's not like you can say if they saying crazy things on their social media account and stuff like that, you can say, oh, that's sometimes you're like, oh, that's somebody just talking, or whatever. How do you know when to, if they threatening somebody's life, that should be taken serious.
Right.
But people saying, because some people, I I got a family member I always talk about it on Facebook. They put their whole life pretty much on Facebook, and most of the stuff to me is like negative stuff. Like, oh, it's like, okay, you going through a lot, and it's about their relationship. And I'm like, man, they going through a lot. You putting everything out there. You can kind of gauge their mood, but does that necessarily mean they're going to do something crazy? Because you know what they going through, what's at that time in their relationship, their marriage. Um, so how do you can't really, if they're not saying, hey, I'm gonna go harm somebody, how do you how do you stop that? How do you it's nothing you can do, you can't. What was that movie? Was it a Minority Report? It was some movie where they like
Tom Cruise.
huh?
Yeah,
Tom
they could
Cruise.
they could predict the future.
And it'd be like you'll get arrested before you do the crime or something like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
We're not there. We're not there.
Right. Right, I agree.
So
You can't regulate insanity.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that you can't regulate insanity, but you can prevent um, um, a, a piece of trash from becoming a landfill. Um, I think we, in general, toxic thoughts have accumulation effect, and they're accumulated because we don't deal with them as they're deposited. And for most part, everything ain't nothing. It won't be anything. It go away. And
So
go ahead.
I was gonna say, how do to me that would be almost like an individual thing. It's like what point they need to know that, hey, maybe I need to talk to somebody. I need help. Because all the time people don't express that, hey, it's something going on, or I'm feeling some type of way, or have people around them to say that, hey, you're not acting normal, you're not being yourself. Hey, let's use Renee for example. He's in the house by himself,
Sleep.
so he don't have somebody that noticed that, hey, you kind of acting kind of different. Are you okay? You're not being yourself. You're not, you're not sticking to the routine that you normally do, or you the way you do. I don't know if you have somebody close to you. When you're close to somebody, you can be like, the way they say something, you can kind of tell something wrong. They can say, oh, I'm all right, I'm okay, but their body language and their tone, you can pick it up when you close to you. He don't have, like, say, for like, I'm using you for example, Renee. He's at home by himself. Maybe he's dealing with some, but he don't have somebody that can pick it up and say, hey, dude, you might need some help, because he might go to work every day and put on the face
Right.
that like everything is all right. But if he don't have nobody that, and he's not putting it out there on social media, he's not, typing sending tweets or whatever they call it. I'm sorry, I don't have Facebook. Um, he's not on all of these different platforms expressing himself. Nobody would never know until he snapped.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think that you have the first person that should know something's off is you.
Right. But everybody is not going to say that.
I
That,
No.
hey,
know.
Some
I
people suffer in silence.
yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
and and is they suffer in silence, and some people suffer in silence as they observe things get progressively worse.
Hmm.
Um, and that's why I say is think about what you think about. The Bible said that we're a summary of our thoughts. Uh, as a man thinks, so is he. So the question is, what are we thinking about? Now, sometimes we derive and say that we come up to, well, it's just thoughts come to my head. No, the thoughts come to your head because you open up a doorway for it to land. Your eye gates and your ear gates are the openings that thoughts have um, a way in. Now, we all live in the same world,
Hmm.
and a lot of stuff is out there, and thoughts gonna come to your head. But I don't think we should build a nest and give it free cable. Make a resonance for it. And so that's there lies the rub, there lies the challenge. You know, in Bible talks about Corinthians, you cast down every imagination and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. And then you bring into captivity every thought. See, that's the issue to bring. And because you have to work at it. You have to work at it. Then you say, well, how do I bring? Well, when they come, don't let them stay. Because what do you do with them? He said, put them on paper. That's what Al Green said. Not in this context, though. But he said you put it on paper, get it out, because when you're writing stuff on paper, it's literally you're putting your thoughts on paper, but really you're unloading, you're taking the trash out.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I think some people they do unload and they unload on social media and stuff like
Mm,
that. But
I wouldn't do that.
that's, yeah, well, I know some people do, and
That's telling the whole world. I'm talking about for you. This ain't got nothing to do with everybody in the whole world.
personal, more like journaling.
Yeah, exactly, journaling. Exactly. No, I'm not talking about no. You don't tell the whole world. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. It's just I'm going through something. I don't need everybody to know else. No,
Yeah.
I'm going through it. Sometimes I'm going through it because it's a test that I need to deal with.
Hmm.
But I don't need to have the whole world knowing that I'm dealing with my test. I just need to pass it. So
Right.
while I'm journaling, when you put stuff on paper, it's been times where I wrote stuff down and I wrote it, just wrote it, and stuff came and I didn't look at it then. And then 2 days I look at it and say, "Oh snap! I wrote that. Ooh, I was going through something." Then realize because I believe stuff comes up, it is in there. It cause I've had people I've saw and they said, "Yeah, doc, I start journaling. I had to stop. So why? It got too real. It got too real. It got too emotional when they start doing it. Because stuff started to come out.
Hmm.
And is a way you can prevent that. And I constantly try to work on myself. Is that it's work?
Well,
Go ahead.
when you want it to come out, and that's the purpose of it, of
Yeah,
doing this,
you right.
so you can.
That's the negative stuff. Yeah, you want to come out so you can assess where it came from, and so you can assess where and when it got there, so you can know where your triggers are. Like if you're in war, and you're doing a campaign, y'all map out where not to go. There's mines over there. You get close, somebody get blown up, you mark that area. You ain't going under there no more. And then he said, well, this we had casualties over here, somebody this, so we're not going there. So therefore, when you journal, you get the stuff out, and it will kind of tell you. It's interesting that your employer maps out your life and knows when you're more efficient or less efficient because it's affecting their bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to take the time and map out our own lives so we
Our
can accomplish
personal lives.
our
Yeah.
personal lives so we can have a better bottom line uh, toward our purpose. And we can work for a job and they do the evaluation. Oh, you come to work with time, good personality, you talk good with the clients, you good with the customers, your documentation's on time. It's really neat. You need to work on this, you need to work on that. Oh yeah, but you need to stop doing that, stop doing that. And then but they check all their boxes. And then you see what you're doing based on somebody else's observation. But why somebody else has to observe us as we do our everyday work for them, but we don't observe ourselves so we can do our everyday work for him, because he's God's responsible for us being here, being significant with our own individual fingerprint to leave an impression doing the work he has for us to do, whether it's sweeping, it's driving, it's speaking, it's being the best parent to our child, because that child is that because planning what we're planning in that child is going to be the next great impact for the world.
Mhm.
We may just be the farmer making tilling the soil for the seed to grow so everybody can eat from. But that can, but we need direction and we need guidance and we need to observe how we're going and how well we're going. And I think a lot of times we just live, we exist and we don't live. And I think you really will flow in what you do well and it won't seem like work. Yeah, so yeah, like earlier what you said, yeah, you get the stuff out so you can write it out, so you can deal with it. And some stuff is coming constantly, every day, every day. But then you
Mhm.
say, "Oh snap!" I think one time my mom, I talked to my mother, and she said something. I didn't write it down, but it's something that I emulated like my father. And she wasn't saying negatively. She said, "Yeah, just like your dad." I said, "No, oh, oh snap! I never thought of it just like my dad, but the mannerisms and the way I did it was just like my father. It wasn't my goal to do it just like my father. I didn't try to do it just like my father, but the tree was in the seed.
There's nothing new up under the sun.
That's right. Yeah. And I didn't know I was emulating what he did. It's just automatic replication based on my first teacher. Now other women can take me doing like that. My mom was our different breed, and she wasn't saying it's bad. She was just saying that's just like him.
She had
Now
more patience for you.
what's that?
She would have your mom would have more patience in that area of well, parents in general will have more patience.
But
I
she
think.
wasn't saying it was negative as my father. She wasn't
Mhm.
saying it was a negative thing that my father did. However, my problem, probably my wife would say it'd be negative. But my mother wasn't saying it as a negative thing about my father. I just know my wife probably would say it's negative.
Mhm.
Different type of woman, different type of relationship.
Right, right. That's understandable.
Right.
I, some you ever like see your kids do something and you like kind of like, oh, that's me. You be like, oh goodness.
Oh yeah, like I probably said told y'all this before, and this is a, this is I'm learning as I help people. It's like being emotionally stable.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you think you're emotionally stable until you look at your kids or somebody else that you're connected with, and they're looking at everything you do. So my wife said, "You're I'm loud." I I emphatically say, "No, I'm not. You just have tiny ears." uh, but my but my son is louder. It was good. He's so loud. You see his vein popping outside his neck, and we're in the house. He right at the kitchen table. I said, "Man." So I said, "Listen, um, we have strong voices. Daddy's gonna work on his voice and my volume. I need you to work on yours." And I have seen him. He has a deep voice though. I have seen him come down. I talk fast. He's sonic. So when I hear him talking slower,
Uh-huh.
I'm getting better. But one time what really made it stick in is that my he started snapping at my daughter, just snapping, off the cuff, just snapping. I said, "Man, I got to be more careful." Now I didn't think I snapped because really I think they amplify you, whether it's good or bad. They they times you 2 times. They come higher, faster, kinder, or meaner,
Wiser.
wiser or meaner,
Uh,
or quicker. So I observed him doing that. I said, okay, not that I have snapped at my wife in front of them, but I am aware if I'm tired, a snapping's going to happen, and I'm not going to be aware of it. It's going to be quicker, right off the cuff, bam,
oh yeah, yeah. I'm the
like
same way.
like
I
Jesse
always,
James, pow pow.
I, I do the same thing. I compare myself to a toddler. If I didn't get that nap in and I need to go to sleep, if I need to get a nap, you're in trouble. I would, I might, it might, you
Yeah,
might ask me to something. I'm like, "Rrr," I'm about to snatch your head off,
right. So
and like, oh, I gotta get my rest. I have to get my rest.
I'm very intentional in how I communicate with my wife, and
Yeah.
not just in my kid's face, it's
Mhm.
in general.
Yeah.
Because I believe it's not kids emulate. They do what you say out of fear and reverence. It's
Hmm.
more fear until they get of age, and then they have a reverence, which still is a type of fear
Hmm.
and respect. But they become who they become mostly out of your example. And it's not just the example that they see, it's the example that you are. That's why the tree is in the seed. And so often you hear about people who um, they've never met the parents, the mother, the father, but the uncles and aunts said, "Boy, girl, you act just like your daddy, your mama. You talk like him, you walk like him." And he said the exact same thing, but you never met your dad. Actually, your dad died before you was born. But the tree was in the seed. I think when we take time to water, um, to nurture, and even to till the soil where the seed is at, that means that's that rough love where you're moving, you're shaking it up, and they don't like it.
That tough love we call
Tough
it.
love, that tough love with that rake, and you tilling, you moving around, but you're refreshing it with the water, and then you get nourishment with the food. Then you leave and let God do the rest with the sun. And when God mixed in with what you've done and what He's provided you to do with the goods that He has made, He applies the sun. You leave the premise, and then you're raised based on what you grow based on what is in the soil, and based on what you did. A lot of times I've seen people where I said, "Man, if I never met your father, I know he did a good. He was a great man because I see you." A lot of farms you go, and the farmer's been the original farmer's been dead for 20, 50 years.
I think we
But
lost one.
yeah,
Right
like,
there.
yeah, he was laid sideways. I wait for his mouth to open up.
No, I'm awake. I
Yeah,
see. Just
but
my arm got tired, so I
yeah, but
changed the
you
position.
literally went sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it was my
say
arm. It
that.
was my arm. I'm holding the phone in my hand, so my arm
Okay.
was so my arm was getting tired and like that. That's all. So that's why I switched arms now.
As long as it don't get limp.
Don't
No retort.
no retort.
That's right. Save your energy.
Yeah, so the fish was saying that I make a point to try to be more mindful, not just in public but in private,
Yeah.
because if I want to know how my kids are acting, why they acting the way. A lot of parents, I don't know what happened to them. They just so bad. I want to just give them a mirror.
Say you happened.
What happened?
You
You
happened.
happened or didn't happen,
Mhm.
and just just because you didn't do anything is just as bad as you doing something.
Mhm.
So you let everybody else raise your child, but you didn't raise it, and then you mad at how they became. Yeah,
Mm.
so to answer your question, yeah, I have seen it, and I've seen not just me. I've seen other parts of my genealogy, and that's what's okay. I gotta get on that. I gotta get on that. I see other parts of my heritage, so I gotta kill that at the roots
Yeah.
before they get grown and it becomes habitual habit. And now, do they like it? Nope. A lot of times,
That that reminded me. Didn't mean to cut you off when you said at the root. It's one of the long, maybe a year ago, maybe longer. How you said you have to get down there at the root eye
right?
level. That's what came to mind when you said that. I remember you. You know what I'm talking about because you said it. You had to get eye level. It was. I don't remember what was the subject, but you used that analogy of being getting down eye level, being at the step back, please, babe, being eye level, getting down, sinning, and you gotta grab it real. I don't.
Oh yeah, yeah. The tree, yeah, trees in your seed.
Yeah,
Actually that's the title of the video.
Mhm.
The trees in your seed. Yeah, you get eye level. And I did. I revamped it in my father's church. Yeah, but yeah, the trees in your seed. But I said I called something else. I forgot. But and you got to turn it. And it's the work, but you will see the benefit. A lot of times you don't see it right off, and you get frustrated.
uh-huh.
And because sometimes the seed get ornery and they don't want to act right, and then weeds get in. They got to pull it, and then you got to yank it, and get different type of fertilizer. You got to do something else. You got to rake it a different way, tilt it,
Uh-huh.
and then and they go left and they go right, but then in the end,
Mhm.
you see your byproduct.
Yeah,
You see the byproduct, and they appreciate it. They
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm so glad you let me do what I felt like doing. That I want to do. You never let me do what I want to do because I really believe that kids they they don't know if what they want to do is from an external source or from an internal. I can't say that they don't know what they want to do because they do know what they want to do. but they don't know if they're influenced for the. And I can't say for everybody, but I think most of them don't know uh, if you're being influenced for external or internal,
Mm-hmm.
or is somebody is not even you. So you want to do something, but you is that what you really need to do? And that's the parents' job to actually observe. Nah, that would do a little bit, but you like then you see the byproduct. I think they person said your child said they want to do something, so you let them see if they're gonna do it. Now, faith for our work is dead being alone. So therefore, they say they want to do it, and they're not putting any work behind it. They don't want to do
Mm-hmm.
it.
Gotcha.
I really want this. I really want this. Then you get it. You give them something, and then they don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really want that. You talk. Now you want me to spend a whole bunch of money for a diamond bat. I'm just a diamond bat and a major league baseball and all this, the Golden Glove and all this foo stuff, and you play with it one time. But you're gonna be a great baseball player.
But you're not putting in the work.
Yeah. So that makes me question your claim that you say you want to be great. Because I got YouTube tutorials for you. I got a resume for you. And you say
Mm-hmm.
you want to be great, but you're not putting the work in. So you don't want to be great. You say you see the shine, but you don't want to do the process. You see the gold, but you don't want the fire. You see the diamond, but you can't stand the pressure. So in essence, you don't want to be great.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I told my son you always talk about basketball. I said, Kobe said he wasn't the most talented. He said, but was nobody going to outwork him?
Mhm.
Are you willing? Are you willing to put the work in to be great? Yeah, they never answer that. I mean, not that Michael Jordan Michael Jordan worked hard. He had that dog in him. They worked hard for it. If you want anything in life, you have to work for it. Every now and then
That's
you get something. We want to keep it, maintain it,
Yeah, yeah.
especially as a man. Yeah, it don't get easy for us.
no, that don't. It's a lot. It's a lot of expectation, especially being head of household, being the leader, being the head priest of your home. I mean, it's just a lot. It don't get easier. We sometimes we make it look easy to the kids because they don't see how much effort and work go into to make everything happen. Um, so it don't get easier. Even dealing, I can even say I listen to some of my older kids when they're talking about stuff. It's like that's life. You know what I mean? They saying stuff, but it's life. That struggle or that situation, you're not the only one. You have some people dealing with it right now, or me and your mom has dealt with that. So it don't get any easier. I think we just the way we go through it when we mature. I can all the older kids say, "Hey, we much softer on the younger one. We didn't got soft," and I don't see it as we got soft. I think we have gained knowledge and we got more patience in
Right.
areas. Um, so that it's a process. It's a growing thing. I think we continue to grow. Yeah, I can even remember being in my mid 20s and stuff. Things that my dad used to say and do, I didn't understand, and then have my own little family. The aha moments, like, that's why. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why he what you call it.
Mhm.
Thunderstorm running. Okay, it's a 07. Okay, yeah, we have storm warnings here on the coast. So, yeah, I'm sorry I had a weather message pop up. Yeah, but
Heavy his head with the crown.
yeah,
Heavy and heavy his head. Said, it's not fair. It said, who keep telling you life is fair?
yeah,
It's not going to be fair. But it's going to be what you do with it. So that takes me back to are you going to stabilize your emotions, or are you going to let your emotions run you into a wall?
hmm,
It's not what people do to you, how you treat it, even the environment you come from, situation you experience that makes you who you are. It's how you respond to them. I
yeah,
constantly work on that every day to respond accordingly, not what they deserve, but what to preserve. I don't give people what they deserve, but I just try to preserve me.
hmm,
I only got one life to live, and it's not theirs. And if I can stabilize my emotions, I can prevent myself from getting asterosis, high blood pressure, uh, a premature heart attack, uh, because the fluctuation of blood, my pressure won't go up because I'm calm. I won't have internal influx,
hmm,
not for too long. I mean, science says that you really should, like with stuff, we all get flustered and frustrated. You should give it 90 seconds and then pull back. Anything more 90 seconds, you run the tendency to running amok. You want to bless a vessel. It's like have you ever ran a car hot?
yeah,
First start seeing smoke, and
yeah,
then you bust a hose, and then eventually the engine lock up. Yeah, yeah. So and you can tell when you're hot. You can tell when you come down. That's why some people say, "Is I need to take a walk. I need to take a drive, so you decompress, and so you won't cuss them to beep out and say something that you meant, but you're still gonna regret.
hmm.
We mean a lot of stuff when you're mad.
Oh yeah. My favorite saying I always say, mind your tongue. When somebody upset, hey, mind your tongue, especially to my kids, because I believe in them expressing themselves, but you're gonna do it in a respectful manner. But
Hmm.
mind your tongue, because you may say something and you don't realize how sharp your tongue can be, and that sticks with the person that you said it to. Y'all back all calm, but you done planted, you done put a seed in them by what you said,
Right. To
because
try
you
to
was
get. Mm.
you know you was angry at that time, or you was upset, so you spewed something out
Mhm.
that was hurtful because you're upset and not understanding that, hey, you just planted a seed that may be eating away at that person, because you said it could have been their insecurity at that time.
Right. I think it. Like I tell my son, sometimes he gets in his feelings. I
Hmm.
said you can't let your feelings control you.
Right.
And I try to pull back, and then address it. However, what I always have to step in when I start to hear him start talking negative about himself. So we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing it. Get thoughts out your head. We ain't doing that. But to his credit, when we come back the next day, he realizes that he did too much. But I'm trying to get him to get to a point where it's what's the trigger that that's telling you about to go there. And so what do you need to do to stop yourself from going there? A
Uh-huh.
lot of stuff irreparable when the words are going out. It's just waiting for a place to land. And you keep feeding yourself stuff like that, you start believing the negative stuff that you're spewing. And the negative stuff that you're spewing is nothing but the enemy trying to plant thoughts with the media, with whatever. Now
Uh-huh.
I tell them to listen. If it's contrary to thinking on things, if not anything good, lovely, pure, honest, of good rapport, if there's no virtue and there's no praise, don't think on it. that means it's not from God.
Yeah, it's a lot easier said than done sometimes.
That's
Even though
why, yeah, I know.
the greatest of us, the most positive of us, at times have our moments.
Oh, that's why it's by the renewing of your mind.
Yeah,
Renewing. I mean, it's a constant work. You bring it to captivity because it's constant work. Now we fall short. Yep, all that comes short.
yeah. Like Renee fell asleep again.
Yeah,
No, I'm not asleep. I'm awake.
it's all right.
This
Is
is
your is your pillow
It's
plus?
okay. It's okay,
huh?
Renee. It's okay. It's past
Is
your
I'm
bedtime.
not,
We
I'm
understand.
not asleep. I'm
he,
awake. I hear
Hey,
everything you're
yeah, yeah,
saying.
yeah,
he
yeah.
gonna try to
You
squeeze
don't
in his
have to
pillow?
explain.
He gotta do
I
like
hear
this.
everything you're saying.
Is that one of them my pillows?
No, I'm in a chair. I'm in a recliner.
That's the bonus one.
I'm in a recliner.
What is it, my pillow plus?
I'm in. I'm in a
Look,
recliner.
now he trying to show us his chair.
Yeah,
Threw the
I
pillow
thought you
off
tried to
the
show the
chair.
pillow. You try to show the pillow on slippers. And then you got pillow slippers now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
No,
So,
I don't have any pillow slippers.
yeah. I mean, we try to capitalize off that, but in any case, so okay, though the go we'll wrap up. Emotional stability, we pretty much covered that. You know, the guy was going through stuff. But the guy was going through things on the campus, and he didn't get grip of it. We all go through things on a daily, and his goal is to get a grip before they extend to that, till they get to that point. I believe that a lot of stuff starts with unforgiveness. It leads to frustration, goes to resentment, resentfulness, and then it goes to anger. Some and anger, or it goes to rage. I mean, the rage can be internalized and turns to murder. However, I believe the majority of people, the murder is more internal, and they're not taking out anybody else but themselves. However, there are those occasions like this one where the passive aggression has internalized, and then as nobody knew, but it becomes an outward expression of an internal dilemma, and that's why you get a hold of it before it starts. But like you said, Tito, I agree with you. Easier said than done. My repetition is because I constantly work on it every day. Am I always successful? Nope. I press toward the mark at a high calling, which is in Christ Jesus. I press. Do I always make it? Sometimes I don't feel like pressing. I push over. Not as well as on Renee. He pushed over the pillow.
yeah.
Uh,
What are you talking about?
Talk about your pillow. I can't say my pillow because I don't have my pillow with me, but your pillow.
What are you talking about?
okay. Yeah, so
Well,
that's that.
if you was awoke at the time, you would know
I heard
what we were
everything
talking.
you said. You gotta let
Okay.
you can't let it build up. You gotta let it out slowly. If you let it build up too long, then it explodes, comes out the wrong way.
Okay.
Okay.
What you gotta say, Tito, as we close out?
Wow. Um, I really don't have a comment. If somebody, if I I would like to say, if somebody see this, whoever see this video, if you need help, ask for help. Don't be afraid. Yeah, it's okay. Get you a good trusted therapist, psychiatrist, or a good friend that you can trust, that you can
Right.
let out what's going on, and that's going to help you, and not gossip about it, but really going to help you, and don't use it against you. You know who you can trust. Just ask for help. It's nothing wrong with asking for help if you feel like you need help. And if that person seems like they can't do it, find somebody else that can help you.
Right.
But don't just give up and don't think that you're the only person going through something or a struggle. That's all I have.
Right. All right, people.
All right. Praise God.
God is good.
All the time.
Jesus Christ, the way, the truth, and the life.
That's right.
All right.
Yes.
Yeshua
Ah,
HaMashiach.
Ashia, I'm a Shia. Out.
All right. Deuces.
Mhm. All right, journeymen, journeywomen. Thank you for sharing. If you're looking on the replay, put a comment in the down below. Any content, any questions that you'd like to ask me, I will respond with them expeditiously. Um, and look at the replay. Also, look up above. I have content on a couple other areas on the channel. Content, purpose driven videos, as well as my new segments in them streets with Dr. D or ride and share with Dr. D. But more importantly, if you find any value in this content, how about you help me help you so we can help others by clicking subscribe, commenting, sharing, and give me those thumbs up, because when you do this, what you do is you organically help me and grow with me, and so we make it better tomorrow, today. But give me those thumbs up. Help the algorithm actually push me up and gets more movement onto my content. So, with that being said, if you don't if you don't remember anything else from this video, and you just popped on right now, remember this, because this may be the most important thing that you remember and you heard all day. Every day you get a vertical, I need you to make it your goal in life to always move forward and never, always move forward and never move back. Life is just too short to live looking in the rearview mirror. You are important. I feel that you're important. God knows that you are important. That's why you got the fingerprint, because you're precious and you're unique. And this is a hero's journey with Dr. D, and we are out.
Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine. 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 Wanna move my feet.